Good morning. Today is my inaugural floss tube. Kind of scary, but I'm going to bullet through it and see what I can do. My name is Karen. My channel name is going to be Prom Queen, not because I went to the prom, but because my coworkers who worked with me at Hallmark part-time would tease me and call me the Prom Queen. They seemed to think that I knew just about everybody who came through the doors, which, while it wasn't exactly true, I did seem to know quite a few. I live here in Bakersfield, California. Been here since 1977, and I kind of do know quite a few people on this side of town. I live on the northeast side of Bakersfield, but you know, I get a kick out of that name, and so hence that's the Prom Queen origin. Wanted to talk about myself just a tiny bit, not too much, because we're really here for the stitching, right? And I wanted to let you know about the fact that I just turned 64 a couple weeks ago, and that song "When I'm 64" by the Beatles certainly hit home. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? And so I keep kind of teasing my friends with that. I've been retired for 4 years from the school system. I was a school counselor, and I worked with students who were considered to be high risk. Many of them were incarcerated. And believe me, it was an education on a myriad of levels, both for me and for them. I learned to stitch when I was probably about, I would say 19. It was a hot summer in Riverside, and I was looking for something to do, and I went to a dime store, which definitely will date me, and I bought a little kit that was a needlepoint kit, and it you know, had all the materials and so on, and that's how I got hooked. Seemed like it was kind of a good thing to do. It was something constructive, and it was easy enough to do while I was watching TV or doing something else, and that's how it all started. In terms of cross stitch, I think I learned cross stitch in the late 70s, and that appealed to me because I had tried stamp cross stitch and didn't like the fact that the X's weren't uniform. But on Aida cloth, they are uniform, and so all I had to do was just read the chart, and that's kind of like reading a map, and so away I went. So I have been stitching for nearly 40 years. Hard to believe. I lived through all the country phase of all the little geese running around with bonnets on their heads. I think somebody else had mentioned that too, and it made me laugh. Through the mauves and the slate blue colors and all that were so predominant back then. But stitching has come a long way since I first started. I also was a member of Embroiderers Guild. They call it EGA for short. And that was good for opening up my horizons and challenging me as well. And I recommend that to anybody who would like to, you know, learn some different techniques, hardanger and white work and black work and all that. A lot of times your local Embroiderers Guild can help with that. What else? I have attended a couple different cross-stitch festivals through the years. Those were a lot of fun. Those were back in the 90s, I think. And I also worked part-time at our local LNS, which was really fun. I did that for 3 years off and on, and that was an education for me as well. I learned what other people like to stitch. I learned how to cut fabric and what types of things appealed to other people. And unfortunately, that LNS closed probably about 15 years ago here in Bakersfield, and it's never been the same since, because that was a social gathering spot as well. Because something about us stitchers, we like to meet with our tribe. And I definitely, you know, have had ups and downs with my stitching bug. Sometimes events in my life have contributed, you know, to me doing a lot of stitching, and other times not so much. When my kids were in high school, I would always have a project in the car with me as I waited for their buses to show up after events and so on. And you know, that way I always had something going on. While my daughter danced, I could sit at the studio and stitch. And it was really pretty good because I could, make progress on some of those projects that I wanted to do. Now, I'm kind of like Sylvia of Becca's Lawn, or Becky's Island, however you guys want to say it. I tend to like smaller projects because I like to see something getting done. I've never done a mirror, never done a lavender and lace, but I don't know. You guys have me a little interested in maybe doing a mirror. I can't imagine doing a Haid. That's probably not going to happen. But a mirror, maybe. So anyway, now that I've mostly just contradicted myself in terms of small projects, that is something I might consider doing. I have totally enjoyed listening to other people's floss tubes. I have learned so much. Danielle at Stitcherista and McKenna, all the Vana, all the different ones we all enjoy listening to. I have learned and gotten good tips out of so many. Not to mention, I feel like I kind of know you guys. That you are part of my tribe, and we're all doing the same thing, and it's really quite fun. Today, I want to show you a couple different things that have to do with stitching. I am subscribing to McKenna's idea of saving the stitching. This is a piece that I believe I bought on Stash Unload or something similar. It's a sampler, and it was done by Eileen Bennett, and the date on it is 1990. And it's almost done. All it needs is that bottom border. Hey, I can finish that. I hope my stitching's half as nice as what this is, though, because look at the back. It's even looks pretty good to me. So anyway, I'm very proud and honored to have this in my possession, and hopefully I'll get it framed, because it's definitely something that is real special. And heaven only knows why it ended up, somebody got rid of it. In terms of current projects, I've been working on a year in chalk by Hands-On Design. Here's the latest one I've done, and I've done 10 of these, or 10 of the months, and I'm working on month 11, and then I just have month 12, and then I'm done with the whole year. And those are good projects for me. I take a class at our local junior college, and a lot of times I'm sitting in the car waiting to go to class, and I've got great daylight, and I'm sitting there like I've already read my chapter for class. I'm gonna stitch, and I've made a lot of progress on things as I've been waiting. Here are a couple things that I hope to do in the near future. Excuse me, I don't yet consider them to be whips because I've not even kitted them up yet, but these are a couple things. Really like Hands-On Design. That's just really fun. These are the little Squareology. They come with buttons and so on. And I got the different months. This is the July one. I got this one for me because I'm a July birthday. And then I also got a May one because that's my daughter's month of birth. Oops. And here's that one. And then I got the one that corresponded with my son's date of birth, which is February. And so I thought I'd do all of these. And of course, being a stitcher, I change everything I do, it seems like. I don't always go according to plan on the designs. I've changed out the fabric. I like 25 count Lugana, and so I've gone with that rather than the Weeks Dye Works linen that it called for. I did try the Weeks and did not like it at all. It was too namby-pamby. It just wasn't comfortable for me to stitch on. So anyway, that's one of the things I do. I also have gotten interested in the overdyed fabrics. You guys enable like crazy. And so I got this one from Picture This Plus, and this is their Crystal Vesper, I think is, don't have my glasses on, and it's really, really pretty. I don't know if you can see the sparkle or not, but I don't even have anything slated for this yet, but that will come. But I was good on their sale that they had earlier this week. I intentionally did not buy anything because I thought, why why make more, why buy more stuff when you don't have a project ready to go on that. And so I was disciplined. Doesn't always work that way, I can tell you. This is another one that I hope to do soon. It was an Etsy buy, and I hope to do it. I thought it was really cute, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy in terms of time intensity. And when you're 64, you have to worry about stuff like that. I hope I stitch till I'm 90, but who knows? This is another work I would like to do in the future. Just really cute. I like both the Santa and the snowman, and I've had this chart for eons. And hey, old things are sometimes the best. And it was done by Work Basket is the name of that one. And then I have this whole series of kits by Jan Lin. They're all the different seasons. And the design is by Sandy Orton from Cooler Designs. And I believe at one point all of these designs were possibly available in Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. And so anyway, I believe I have all four. I know I have at least 3 of them. And I will change out the fabric. I don't use the Aida cloth anymore. I prefer linen or Lugana or Jobelan or something like that. And I'll definitely change that out. And I'm not sure of the threads that were included. They kind of look like DMC, but if I have any worry about that, I'll just change it out. Because life is too short for me to be stitching with things and threads that are going to give me trouble. And the DMC has a nice look to it. I also love the Weeks Dye Works and the Gentle Art Sampler threads. Sometimes a little concerned about them, not being color fast. So I'm pretty careful, because I do like to wash my designs when I'm done and get a real good press on them too, because I think it adds a lot to them. Well, my friends, I'm going to cut this off. This has been definitely a challenge, but I look forward to coming back and sharing some more with you all. I hope this thing will upload. My first time I couldn't get it to do it, but this time I kept it much shorter. And I look forward to spending some more time with you in the future. Keep those needles flying, guys. It's a heck of a good hobby. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.